Hi, Celeste Cuffy here, Life Empowered Consulting Services, where our mission is to reach, empower, and motivate you to access and utilize your God given talents and skills, building better families, companies, and communities worldwide. I am so glad that you can spend 15 minutes with me today. I'm excited during this 15 minutes of living life empowered that I can share with you this particular topic. The theme for today is simply this: do not let it ruin your day. So, I want to take you back last year around the holiday season. My family and I decided to take a family vacation. This was the first one that we were able to take last year, and we were excited to go, and things seemed to be going well. We were excited packing, we were excited on our way to the airport. It was early, we were half asleep, but yet excited, and got to ticketing, checked in, so on and so forth. We get to our location. We land the plane and we go into baggage claim to pick up our luggage, only to find that our luggage was not there. Now, my kids received their luggage. Everyone else around us received their luggage. However, my husband and I, we did not receive our luggage. Very disappointed in that, needless to say. However, this was one moment, this was 1 hour, this was one part of the day, and we had to be very careful not to allow this situation to ruin our entire vacation. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. Don't allow a moment, don't allow a situation, don't allow an hour to ruin your entire day, your entire week, your entire month, your entire life. It doesn't have to be that way. And what I want to do on today is share with you 5 tips. So we're going to go through 5 tips for living life empowered, 5 tips for staying encouraged. And the first tip is this. One of the first things that's really important, and I love sharing this, is about my dad growing up. He often would, blue collar worker, so he would often after work go home, come home and get dressed again, right? He'd shower, bathe, do all of that. And he would put on dress pants, so he'd have on some slacks, a nice shirt, and a suit jacket. And he would have a pocket full of change, and he would walk through the house and have a full conversation. Now, immediately, yeah, it sounds a little weird. I'm with you on that. However, for me, I grew up with that, so it didn't really bother me so much. But there was a point when I was a teenager, and I remember saying to my dad, and when I say full conversations, I mean full conversations. Like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? Full conversations. But there was a point when I was a teenager that I was in the house and my dad was having a conversation. And I said to him, I said, Dad, it's one thing to talk to yourself, but it's a whole nother thing to answer yourself. Maybe you shouldn't answer yourself. And my dad looked at me and he said, sometimes that's the only way you can get a decent response. So my first rule, my first guideline, my first recommendation is to talk to yourself. Because sometimes we have emotional responses to situations that are going on, and we literally have to talk ourselves down. Okay, Celeste, in that instance, okay, Celeste, you don't have your luggage. Where can we find the silver lining at? Maybe we get to go shopping. Well, we do get to go shopping again. So allow that to be a silver lining. Allow the fact that they were apologetic. There was no intent to do that, in my mind, wrong. They didn't intend to swap our luggage out. So don't be angry about something that you can't control. So have that conversation with yourself. That's the first thing. The second thing that I recommend that you do is stay close to people who are positive, right? Get in that environment. And so while, as I said, we did not receive our luggage, well, our children did. And so my daughter, very optimistically, very positively, my son as well, let's go do this. Let's go shopping. Let's, go find new shoes, new swimsuits, new whatever it is. And so we actually ended up taking that first day and shopping. Why? Because I did not want that event to ruin my day. So that is the second thing. The first thing is talk to yourself. It's okay. And then the second thing is to stay close to people that are positive as well. And I'll even say, even the woman at the baggage claim, while she had to take us through the process or the due diligence as a result of this incident, she was very apologetic, but she was also very kind, and she was very proactive in assisting us on providing information on the next steps and what we needed to do. So having the right people around you is critical. Okay. The third thing that I'd say do is post positive things in your space. Um, Whatever that is for you, make sure that you engulf yourself in positivity. I am wonderful. I am fabulous. Because you know why? When something negative happens, your first response sometimes is to respond according to how you feel about that situation. But instead of responding about how you feel about the situation, begin to respond according to who you are. And I am bigger than this situation. I am an optimist. I am an eternal optimist. I know how to take a bad situation and turn it around. I know things will work out for my good. So those are the things that you post for yourself, speaking positivity and great things to yourself and over your life and in your space. Absolutely critical to do that as well. So what have we talked about so far? We've talked about speaking to yourself. We've talked about having the right people in your space, which are positive people. And then we've also talked about posting positive things. Do you see a theme here? When you speak to yourself, you're speaking great things. When you're around great people, they're speaking great things into you. And then when you're looking around and you have these positive posts, you're visually seeing great things in your space. And so you are addressing all of the sensories to combat the negative emotions or the negativity that you might be feeling as a result of the event. So here's the fourth thing that I'd like for you to consider doing, which is I'm trying to make sure I say this correctly. Understand that there is a higher power. And if there are things that you cannot control, then do not let them control you. So resting in your higher power, because you've done all that you can do, that should be your solace. And so again, the event doesn't have to determine the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your month, the rest of your life. The event doesn't have to do that, because you can only manage what you can manage. And when you talk to yourself, when you encourage yourself, when you have this positive sayings and declarations in your space, and when you're around positive people, you have now begun to form a behavior and a lifestyle of being optimistic, of looking for the silver lining in the clouds, looking for the rainbow through the rain. And that is a technique, that is a skill, that is a strategy that will take you further than being angry ever will, than being bitter ever will. So rest in the fact that there is a higher power. And if it has happened, there is someone else orchestrating. And you can rest and you can dwell and take solace in that. And because of that, this event will only make you, it won't break you. And so again, making sure that you build that environment, you create that space externally as well as internally in such a way that a situation doesn't ruin your day. Now, the last thing, and we've talked about environment, and again, I know that you see the trend, right? So we've talked about what we say, we talked about what we see, we talked about what we know. Now, let's talk about what we hear. When we talk about this environment, what are we hearing from the people that are in our space? Positivity. What are we hearing? But let's take it a step further. What are we hearing when we are listening to the radio, driving down the street? Is that encouraging uplifting, supportive information, music, whatever it is that you listen to? What are you watching on TV? Is it peaceful or is it chaotic? Is it drama or is it entertainment? You make the decision of what you allow to go into your space. But understand that what you put into you visually by your declarations, auditorily by what you hear and who you listen to, right? Internally by what you say out of your own mouth, and even spiritually by what you know that rests above us and rests in us. When we go through all of that and we talk about all of that, what we're trying to do is understand that your environment is impactful to your growth. Your environment is impactful to your happiness. And no, we can't always control our environment, but we can control us. We can manage us. Don't let the external situations control us. We control us. And so those are the things that I want you to do to stay encouraged. 1, talk to yourself. 2, get around the right people. 3, post positive declarations. 4, understand that there is a higher power. And 5, create an entire environment. Because here it is, the event happened, and it may have happened between 12:15 and 12:20. But now you have 12:21 until the next day. You have 12:21 until the next week. You have 12:21 until the next year. And that situation that happened in that moment of time doesn't have to be the defining factor for the entire day, week, month, hour, for the rest of your life. Don't let it ruin your day. And so I went, I want to tell you this last story. I was driving and I made an illegal turn and I got a ticket. And so I was owed that ticket because I did something I shouldn't have been doing. However, in getting the ticket, the police officer, he wrote it out. He brought it to me, super friendly. But the last thing that he said to me was, here you go. Don't let it ruin your day. And so I'm asking you that in spite of what you experience, whatever that moment of time is, do not let it ruin your day. You are bigger than a moment. You are bigger than an event in time. Who you are and what you bring to the table is a lifestyle. It should be a lifestyle of positivity, even in the difficult moments. So, thank you so much for spending this 15 minutes with me of Living Life Empowered. And the theme, your takeaway, your to-do today is to not allow anything to ruin your day. Now, for more information on Celeste Cuffey and Life Empower Consulting Services, please visit my website, www.celestecuffey.com. In addition, feel free to call me directly at 414-939-5327. Thank you so much for your time. And to remember, please remember, live life empowered. Goodbye.